We doing a countdown or are we good? We're good. Thank you, ma'am. Hi, good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, December 2nd. It is 6:30 p.m. and this is the regular Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for the first Monday of the month. With that, I'll announce that we do have a quorum. There's 5 of us. Now I'm going to have to show how bad my memory is. Miss Hendricks is not here, and Trey Haskins, correct, Commissioner Haskins. So that's the call to order and the roll call. The next section is or next item is the introduction of agenda and format of hearing, and staff would please take that away.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. For each item, we will have a call to order, followed by a staff report, and then an applicant presentation. The public comment window will then be opened to share support or opposition of the request. Please state your name and address for the record and keep your comments brief within a 3-minute time frame. Afterwards, the Commission and staff will discuss the item, and the Commission will take a vote. The vote will be to recommend approval as submitted, approval with conditions, denial of the request, or to request to table the item to another meeting. On to the order of the agenda. Tonight we have 3 consent items, approval of an excused absence and a plat. And then on new business tonight, we have 2 CUP requests. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just for the edification of some of us up here, the consent agenda does have a plat on there. And the question came up to me, why is a plat on the consent agenda? I tried to tell them that I was partly at fault there, but you may have a better explanation for that.
Preliminary plats are considered on the consent agenda as non-controversial items and therefore can be placed on the consent agenda. However, if the board chooses, you can pull the item.
Thank you for that. So that does bring us to the consent agenda item. It's Roman numeral 4 on our agenda here. There are the 3 items that you mentioned. Does anyone wish to pull any items off the consent agenda? All right, then I'll ask for a motion and a second for approval.
So moved. Commissioner Echols, so moved.
Commissioner Eisenberg, second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Measure passes 5-0. So the next item is items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. So we'll move straight into new business, and that is the first conditional use permit that you mentioned. And that is a request by Mr. Huang, applicant on behalf of Pearland Office Center LLC, owner, for approval of a conditional use permit, CUP, for a studio or learning center for fine or performing arts use within the Business Park 288 or BP 288 district on approximately 30.715 acres of land, the general location being 2743 Smith Ranch Road, Unit 2504. Could I get a motion for approval in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, if staff will issue the report.
Thank you, Chair. Florence Buaku will be providing the staff report for this item.
Thank you, Kacha. Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. As read earlier, this is a request for a studio or learning center in a 1,200 square foot lease space in an existing office park. It's here for a CUP because the BP 288 district requires a conditional use permit for the studio or learning center use. Staff sent out notices to property owners within 200 feet of the subject property, and we did get 1 written comment, and that was a neutral comment. It wasn't in support or against, and it was essentially asking for more information. That was sent to your email earlier this afternoon. On your screen is the location of the subject property. It is a business Park and Zone BP 288. It's surrounded by a mix of residential and commercial zoning districts. And then on the west side is the ETJ. The underlying future land use for the subject property is Business Park, which supports the Studio for Learning and Fine Arts. It's intended for offices and other professional uses. So just to give us a brief overview of the context, the area shown with the yellow outline is the existing business park. It has a mix of office uses and other similar uses. And then surrounding it to the west is a shopping center. To the south are two big box retail developments. And then to the east is a single family subdivision. The property directly north is undeveloped. Just to give you a brief history of this property, the property was annexed into the city in 1998. Then it was platted in 2008. And then after the plat, construction started on the office park in 2019. And then if you recall, just a few months ago in February 2024, there was a CUP for a music studio, which was approved by both the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council, and it's located within that same office park. So this is a layout of the office park. This layout shows both existing and future development. And unit 1501 is the music studio that was approved in February 2024. And then the subject property, which is seeking approval for the CUP for the art studio, is unit 2504. It's located to the far east of the property. So staff has reviewed this to make sure that it conforms with the future land use and other plans of the city. And after review, it shows that it's consistent with the future land use plan as well as the thoroughfare plan. And then there are no exterior improvements intended with this use. Most of the improvements will be interior, and there are existing utilities to serve the property. And then staff has also reviewed this based on the criteria outlined for approval of conditional use permits. And staff has determined that there are no adverse effects that will be generated by this proposed use. And because there are no exterior improvements, there are no issues with traffic or visual impacts to adjacent properties. So based on staff's analysis, staff has determined that the CUP meets the criteria for approval, and it's also consistent with the BP 288 zoning district. And as such, staff is recommending approval for the requested conditional use permit. Thank you. That concludes staff report.
Thank you for that presentation. That brings us to the applicant presentation. Is the applicant here, and does the applicant wish to make a presentation tonight? Please step to the podium. And if you would announce yourself and your name and address, please, for the record.
Yes, my name is Hong Liang Huang. I got my art degree from UT Austin at 2008, and I started my business at 2013. And right now, Enya Studio has more than 400 students around Houston area. Pearland is a beautiful city. When we come, we will make Pearland even more beautiful. Our studio teaches students from 4 years old up to 18 years old. Our students compete in all state, in national. They won a lot of awards. Right now, our main campus is in Richmond, Katy area, and we opened a center in Cyprus last year, and it's very successful. And Pearland is our third location, so we are going to start a big art center. We bring quality art education to students of all ages through exploratory curriculums that encourage each artist to indulge in their creative activities. We provide a lot of wonderful classes to students all around. We even have art therapies for the special needs kids. Our popular summer camps bring the immersive art experience, future 2D art classes, 3D ceramics lessons, sculpture lessons, and we even have weekly trips bring students to Houston Museum of Fine Art in summer. So this is the award-winning pieces you can see. On the top right corners, that pieces, the winners, the pieces option out for $95,000 in Houston Rodeo Show. On the left, fourth piece is the crab. Our students participate in Texas coastal art. They do a lot of paintings, drawings to show how much they love Texas coast. And our students clean the beach and do the art to advocate all the Texas peoples to clean the beach. And we won the first place for 3 times in the past 10 years. The other pieces, the fish, and then all the printmaking pieces, they are national silver medals in Scholastic. Those pieces are the students' portfolios. These students will make it to Carnegie Mellon design majors. And the last pieces, the sculptures, the student make it to ROSD with a Fulbright scholarship. The left pictures is class scenes in Pearland. It just happened this semester. Just to show you like how the classroom will look like. The right pieces is we took a student to the Houston Museum of Fine Art. This is past summers. We are going to do the same thing to the Pearland student too. We support the local schools. We donate a lot of money to all the public school, private school around the neighborhoods. When students ask us, the cross-country teams, the dancing teams, and orchestra teams ask for us for the donations, we always support them and donate the money to the public schools every year. Currently, we have more than 400 students across Houston, and we want to bring the magic of art to Pearland with the new local studios. Through the fun, engaging art classes, we hope to make a quality art education accessible to everyone and support the local Pearland communities. Thank you. By the way, we also hire a lot of teachers from Pearland. Right now we have one. When spring our big campus started, we are going to hire more local Pearland teachers. And we also provide a lot of opportunity to the high schoolers, to volunteers, or being the TAs to have extra curriculums. Thank you so much, and happy holiday to give us this chance. Thank you.
Appreciate that. That brings us to the next portion, which is persons wishing to speak for or against. Are there any persons wishing to speak for or against? Seeing no movement, we'll move next to staff commission applicant discussions. Commissioners?
Well, I personally think this is a great idea. We've done. I know that on the cultural side, I guess, of Pearland, we have a group that is very much interested in having art in displayed in certain areas and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll be an area that once it gets established and stuff, that y'all can kind of help with that as well. But I'm gonna be a yes on this.
I've actually gone to this area, the group of buildings, office condos, for a medical appointment. I think it's a great area, and I think you're a great fit for it. Medical and what you're doing is a great fit. I very much appreciate that you picked Pearland for your third location, so I'll be a yes for sure. I think this is more of a formality because this use isn't in the zoning unless you come for a CUP. So I think otherwise staff would have given you a big check mark and said, go ahead. So with that, if there's no more comments, we have a motion and a second on the floor, so we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Measure passes 5-0, and the next step will be for you to go to the city council for their approval, hopefully their approval as well. Yes, ma'am. Best of luck to you. That brings us to the second CUP tonight, and that is the consideration and possible action conditional use permit number 24-21. That's a request by, I hope I don't say this name too bad here, Srikanth Sharda, applicant on behalf of Magnolia 15.512 Acres LTD, which is the owner, for approval of a conditional use permit for an auto wash self-service use within the Magnolia Parkway Plan Development PD District on approximately 1.347 acres of land, the general location being west of Manville Road and south of Magnolia Parkway in Pearland, Texas. How about a motion and a second for approval, please?
Second.
That brings us to, once again, the staff report.
Thank you, Chair. This request is for an approval for a CUP for an auto wash, a self-service one with vacuum stations and an office. This location is within the Magnolia Parkway Plan Development District, and they would like to accommodate a 5,200 square foot auto wash. We did not receive any public comments on this request. Shown on the screen is the zoning map. As stated previously, this property is within the Magnolia Parkway Plan Development District. Specifically, within the PD, the subject property is listed within the general business zoned tracts. The same PD is to the south of this property. To the north is zoned GB. To the east across Manville is Midtown at Magnolia PD. The subject property is designated as the Mixed Use Center, place type within Pearland 2040 Future Land Use Plan. And here is an aerial of the property with the adjacent land uses shown. The map does not show the apartments to the west that are currently under construction right now, but to the north we have a gas station, to the south we have a detention area, and to the east we have a drugstore and townhomes. The subject property was annexed into the city in 1999 and was originally part of a larger residential property. In January 2023, the property was rezoned from general business to a planned development, and the property was platted in 2024. Shown on the screen is the applicant's proposed site plan, and now is the proposed landscape plan. Shown on the screen is a map with the existing auto washes in the area. There are 0 auto washes within 1 mile of the subject property, 5 within 2 miles, and 7 within 3 miles. Auto washes included in the mileage calculation included both self-service and full-service car wash. The proposed CUP meets the review criteria approval for a CUP. And the UDC establishes 7 criteria for evaluating CUPs, and this request meets all 7, with 2 having conditions added to the recommendation slide that we'll get into later. The proposed CUP meets the criteria for approval of a CUP. The proposed use is a secondary land use that is an accessory to and helps serve the primary land uses within the mixed-use center place type. And the proposed use is also consistent with the intent of the GB-based zoning for the property and is compatible with the existing gas station to the north. And with that, staff recommends approval of the requested CUP with the following 7 conditions. Conditions 1 through 5 are connected with landscaping. And condition 6 notes that gravel mulch will not be permitted. And condition 7 is the proposed auto wash shall utilize a central vacuum system to reduce noise. And that concludes staff presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Is the applicant here, and does the applicant wish to make a presentation? And if you'd be so kind when you go up there to please state your name and address for the record.
Just introduce, I'm Jennifer Evans. I'm the part with the group that owns the land, and we've been working with Shercon to work within the guidelines of the PD that was established last year, and so I'll let him take over.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm in the neighborhood state. I come from Sugar Land, and I love Beer Land, being with a lot of my friends here. And that's where I know everybody would have heard about the Broadway Street. That's where we started our journey, finding out something to do here. And then I think we met Jennifer, and we kind of brought attention about this land that is proposed for a car wash. And during our analysis, and we kind of did the survey, we found out that there is a need of a car wash in the neighborhood because I think things are more concentrated towards the Broadway Street, and this would be a very good location, which is right behind the gas station, which is going to be, and then the apartments, which is already, I think it's almost in the final phase of completion. And so that's something that we've really liked, and we've been working with Patrick on the development, the way the proposed site is supposed to be with the landscaping, and we completely agree the way it's supposed to be, and the landscaping which has been currently proposed into it, and we are looking forward to have a car wash in this location. Thank you.
Mr. Sharda? Over here. I know Jennifer Evans. She's been here several times. We know her name. We know her address. We don't know exactly who you are, and the record did not pick that up. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Sure, definitely. All right, me and my wife here, Namrata Sharda, we are been in Houston for over 12 years, and we've been in Cypress, and then we run 3 Montessori schools currently, one in Sugar Land, one in Iowa Colony, Rosharon, and the third one is coming up in Friendswood. The third one is in the final phase. Hopefully by February, we will be starting our location, the third one.
I apologize. I was just looking for the name and the address.
Oh, Shrikant Sharda, and from Sugar Land. That's where we live at.
Okay, I think because you're the applicant, we probably have your address on file. Thank you, appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. And thanks, I missed that. That brings us to the portion of the of this public hearing. Persons wishing to speak for or against. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against? Not seeing any movement. We'll move on then to staff, commission, applicant discussions. Commissioners?
I just want to make sure that the applicant is okay with all the proposed conditions, and they're good with those moving forward. You understand what they all are? You're fine. Okay, thank you. I know we get some issues sometimes when we get to council. So I'll tell you, I'm not a big fan of car washes. I said it before. I think we have more than enough. This apparently is our car wash desert area, so I won't go into it all again. But I think obviously the conditions are very important, especially in its location. I like that it's hidden at least behind the gas station. There's an apartment complex nearby, so I don't have any problems with this one. Thank you.
And for the record, when you asked that question, if he was comfortable with the 6, you did state yes affirmatively. Okay, that's a yes. How many did I say? I'm always $1 short, you know. Thank you. All 7 conditions you're in favor of, and for the record, he's nodded his head yes and gave us a thumbs up. Other commissioners? Car washes, I rarely ever say, you know, I'm a market person. I'd like to let the market take care of that. I'm assuming if you don't mind, if you could go up to the podium, please. Just because I want to get your answers on the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've done a market study, or this is not a new concept or your own. Are you doing a franchise, I'm assuming?
I'm working with Sony's Car Wash, and they are one of the biggest marketing selling unit in United States. They have a big office manufacturing center in Florida, and they have a big warehouse in Houston as well as in Dallas. The team has come, they have reviewed it, they have reviewed the site. I have the complete market analysis report that I've gone through. I've worked with the bank as well. So the background is completely completed, done, and there is a need and there is a potential market that is required to have this. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear. And could we, looking at this, and I'm glad you have this up, could you go back to that one? Thank you. Those 3 dots, we had another car wash along Broadway just north of here in the area, probably within the 2-mile range. But they explained to us there's 4 different type of car washes. There's the old wand self-wash. There's the tunnel things that you all have where it's all self. And I won't even mention the other 2 because I'm forgetful and I'll probably screw it up. But the one on here on Cullen to the let's call it the 10 o'clock position, that one is the one with the wand. So it's really not the same type as yours.
That is correct.
I think the one straight to the north, right along Manville, that's more of a detailed type car wash. There's people out and they're putting their mitts and the towels on the cars themselves. A little different than yours, I believe.
That is correct,
your
yes,
concept.
because ours will be more the tunnel and a complete self-wash with the vacuums.
Right, yeah. And then the other one just kind of at the 1230 position, that one also is a wand. I think it has maybe 1 booth with so I guess what I'm trying to say is your concept is different from those. I don't know that you're direct competition with those, so I would, even if that was an issue, I'd still vote yes, but I'm really in favor of it because this is unique. You're also very far south of Broadway, and it's nice to have a business that's not directly on Broadway, putting more traffic along Broadway. So people living in this area and to the south, the Massey Ranch that's about to happen, people coming from Alvin or Manville may use your car wash as well, and that's great that we'll get their business. So I applaud you, and I'm welcome to Pearland, and I'm glad you're here. Anyways, so I'll be a yes.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? If not, then we have a motion and a second on the floor. Oh, my apologies. Thank you. Those 7 conditions. Yeah, who was the motion and a second?
Commissioner McDonald, unfortunately, your microphone is off.
Thank you. I move to I will amend my
Original motion
original
to include.
motion to include the conditions as expressed by staff, recommended by staff.
And I second that motion.
Now, is there discussion on that? Can we have it or no?
On the amendment? I think
I'll just let it go.
it's not a true Roberts rule, but it's working with y'all because we understand the process and what the intent is, and because the person who made the motion also amended his motion, clarifying that he wanted to include the staff conditions. So we can have a discussion overall if you wanted to, or you could just go to the vote.
Okay, we'll just do the vote. I'll say something later. All right, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Measure passes 5-0. Congratulations, and
Thank you.
congratulations, Miss Evans.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That brings us to the discussion items. City Council update report. That goes to staff.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick update on things that went to the last City Council meeting. So y'all previously saw a rezoning request for property along Knapp Road. That was that property that wanted to come in with the 3 lots, the one big residential and then the 2 smaller on either side. That was a GC to RE request that did not get approved by City Council, ended up failing on the first reading. Next, we had LNR Plan Development Amendment that was brought on by Millar. That did get approved and ended up getting, its second approval is coming up next Monday. Next, we had a conditional use permit for a plant nursery that ended up getting approved. And then there were 2 items that y'all did not see, but they are of interest because y'all have previously seen them. One was the extension of a conditional use permit for the auto repair on Shadow Creek Parkway. That's that one that is on the small lot next door to Arby's in front of that office center. That ended up getting extended. They're in the middle of permitting right now, but just had some additional issues pop up with their drainage and the regional detention that they utilize. Something that they're working through and are capable of getting approval through. Next was extension for an auto wash at the corner of Broadway and Smith Road. So that is the Braun development, brand new couple of restaurants that have opened up in that strip center. That ended up getting denied. They had their original original partner, let's say, pull out of that deal. So we'll probably see them in the future when they find a new partner to come with. Last item that is of interest, and this is more of a future interest, pending council's approval, we'll see a zoning assignment for Brazoria County MUD 16. That's that area kind of in the middle of the city where Avalon Terrace, Hickory Blue Sports Complex, and Lakeside Estate is located in. Surprisingly, that is outside of city limits, but kind of in the heart of the city. Council and city manager's office have been working through on the specific partnership agreement and bringing that into the city. So it's a way future item, but it is on the near horizon. With that, Chair, I will pass back to you.
Any update on the UDC?
We are actively getting the steering committee, those are the right words, stakeholder group, together. Hope to have our next meeting sent out and scheduled. Let's see, I think the next one is in March. If I'm reading through the email quickly on that, March 10th, to have that penciled in on everyone's calendar.
Fantastic, thank you. Commissioners' activity report, anybody have anything, anyone? Nope. Seeing a bunch of heads shake no, so we do have a P&Z regular meeting and joint workshop on December 16th, or are we not having a meeting that night? The next page, my short-sightedness.
It is there.
Okay, it's there. We also have a CIP, the city council is having a CIP meeting on the next Monday, the 9th, if I do the math correctly. So that's at 4 p.m. and we're all invited, voluntary. It's not a meeting.
And the recording for that will always be available to make sure that, you know, if you're not able to come, you can watch it live. And if you don't watch it live, you can watch it on YouTube. And you can watch it through the city's website.
Got it. And then lastly, is there anybody that knows they cannot be here on the 16th?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to show up on the 16th. That's our last meeting of the year. But I'm going to send somebody in my place. I always like saying this because I'm going to make Lawrence nervous when I put it on the record. But there's going to be another fat man sitting in this chair.
In a red suit, and he's very jolly. Well, look forward to seeing you all then on the 9th and then the 16th if you can make it. That's it. It is 7:07. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all, and congratulations.